it's babysitting 200 people for
strangers
And kids.
for 4 hours.
And, like,
Yeah.
parents
Strangers
and
that
kids.
don't like each other, don't know each other,
Yeah.
and don't want to laugh yet. And they don't. And when we started, they didn't know Wizards.
I
of
was
Waverly
about to
Place.
say.
We shot the entire first season in the hole, meaning no one had seen the show or knew what it was. So you'd have to, give them all the information so that they were aware of the setup.
And they were on board.
Yeah, we basically said to that first season audience, because second season it was like, forget about
Right.
it. I mean, it was full blazes. Everybody was there to
We didn't
see
have
you
to explain
guys.
anything.
It's a huge hit. We almost had to get out of the way a lot of the time, or just kind of control the environment. But that first season, we were like, all right, we need to just entertain these people. They need to be alive. They need to be laughing.
Yeah.
They need to be engaged and watching. And we made the show more about the personalities and the actors there, engaging with them. Because if we were sitting in the audience from Nebraska and New Jersey, we would want the special TV
Sure.
show to recognize us and feel like we're a part of the night with them.
Of course, yeah.
And that's what we did a lot of for that first season in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys, like I said, you really nailed it, because that was something I had been to, like, live studio audience tapings just as an audience member before, and you guys really included the audience and made them feel like part of the show, which I think was so special. What were some of, like, the favorite games or encounters that you guys remember? I know it was like a million years ago, but
No, we remember them I remember them more.
Oh, yeah.
We would do, it eventually evolved to making the night about our audience. This is their special night.
Yeah.
You get to see this incredibly popular show with some of your favorite Disney stars, or David DeLuise as well, because let's face it, David's coming off of 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
People know David DeLuise,
Yeah.
so they were super excited to see him there as well. But you guys had a popularity all on your own. The parents were like, oh, David DeLuise, look at that,
Yeah.
right? And the kids were just gaga for all of you guys in the cast.
Yeah.
So we would say,
I was going to say, in season 1, after the show, after the curtain call, I remember, like, Selena coming up over the railing, like, anybody want an autograph? Because everyone was just like, great
did you guys
show.
have fun
Bye.
tonight?
Great show.
Was it a great
Yeah.
night?
Yeah, I remember.
Thanks for coming.
the
yeah,
way
it
that-
felt like very like door-to-door salesman of like, did you like what we
Yeah,
did?
I mean, it was new and you didn't know,
Yeah.
right? So you're like, you want some feedback
Yeah,
that
for sure.
might tell you, like, do we have something on our hands?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've said this before, but the way that Selena dealt with the fans was very unique. She was very thankful. Rather, it wasn't, hey, hi, I'm here. It was like, thank you guys so much.
She's still that way.
yeah, which is
She's
amazing.
still so warm
Yeah.
and like.
And something
thankful
that
for
I
them.
don't think everybody knows, and something I didn't think was going to continue, was the entire audience
Yeah.
would come down to the floor, which is the set, which is in between the audience and the set.
Yeah, the audience was up in bleachers, so to come down onto
Right.
the floor, they just had to go down
And
like
we
half of the
would
staircase.
take pictures with everyone, sign autographs, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh, in next season, this is never going to happen. Every
You're like, oh, shit, we gotta do it
episode we
every
shot, we
Yeah.
Well,
signed autographs and took pictures with
I
all
think
the fans.
since Wizards and between Wizards and the world shutting down with the pandemic,
Yeah.
all of the shows that were Disney Channel shows or It's a Laugh shows, they saw what was happening and they saw how incredibly powerful that engagement was
Yeah.
with the audience and the cast, that they, for other shows like Jesse or for Austin and Allie, they would have like a full setup. They had a whole routine.
Yeah.
People would line up, they would bring out the director chairs. I mean, it was a whole
Because
system.
with Wizards, it
But
was
you
a little
did
chaotic.
It
because,
was
like, they were
because it
just-
was learning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'd never really done it before. We just knew that we wanted to have that interaction with them after the fact, especially after the first season, where, like you were saying, we didn't know a gauge of if they enjoyed it, if they didn't.
But you asked about some of the games.
Yeah.
So some of the engagement was, all right, everybody in the audience, tonight's your night. We've got a great DJ up in the booth, so let's go ahead
Yeah.
and what are the songs you all want to hear?
Yes.
So we packed it up, and most of those songs were also coming from the cast
Mm-hmm.
because we wanted you to hear the music that also got you excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was one of the ways to break the ice.
And
for sure.
tonight, we're going to have a talent show.
Every time.
So who in the audience has
remember
something
that.
special that they
Yeah.
want to show us?
Yeah.
And then maybe the cast will see it.
Yeah, we'd
and,
be like, and then who knows?
and then
maybe
you could be on the
Disney
show
extra
and
here.
then get your own show. Yeah.
And of course, the parents like, get down there and see it.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we would do that. But again, I mean, that goes back to the question that you had asked us earlier, which was like, was I like that as a kid? And
Yeah.
putting shows up in front of your friends and family,
yeah.
that's what we do. So Darren and I would be nothing but supportive to those young kids that would just do a split or would do a karate chop that was silly. And we'd be like, that's amazing.
Oh my God,
because
give it
that's
up
how
for him. Yeah.
we were raised
Yeah.
to think that the stupidest things that we're doing were incredible, which totally boosted our confidence in life.
Probably too much.
For sure.
But it allowed you to get to a place where you can fail and then try again and
Absolutely.
finesse
Yes.
your talents.
And one thing
know?
we did not ever do, which we saw a lot of when we would see audience warm up, is we wouldn't put the audience down or make fun of anybody.
What a weird
And that's
thing.
a lot of stuff with stand-up comedy. When
Yeah,
you're doing,
where it's like a
when you're doing
negative.
crowd
You're trying to
work,
roast them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're making fun of someone
Yeah.
or that kind of thing.
Yeah. You guys are the hired clown and just keep people having a good time till
Which
the
is
cake
so
is cut
silly
and then go home.
because on tape nights, like even nights where we were tired or like if Selena and I had been banking hours during the day or whatever and we were just kind of like, meh, you guys lifted the energy of the entire room.
Banking hours is for school since
right.
they're
Yeah.
minors.
Yeah.
I'm just doing a David DeLuise for
true.
Yes, I
everybody.
love it.
Doing a
I don't
DeLuise.
want him to be the only one doing it. He carries a lot of that for the show, and he gets a lot of crap for
It
it.
does.
So,
Well, mostly from me
Yeah.
because I'm an asshole.
yeah, like for instance, we would have to say, hey, you're going to hear a bell. It sounds like a school bell. No alarms there. It just means we have to stop talking because the show's about this right now.
Right, and there's certain, like, you can laugh. Like, we would have microphones above the audience, and, you know, they would record their laughter.
Oh, Darren and I had a bit on that.
What?
We'd be like, okay, so look above you. You see those microphones? Those microphones are on. So we want to hear you laugh. So let me hear on the count of 3, let me hear
I
your
remember
best laugh. So
that.
we do 1, 2, 3, and we're like, ha 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 ha. Like, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, we want your real laugh, genuine laughter, because the show's hilarious and everybody's so good and funny on it. But we don't want to hear you like doing any shout outs to your friends back
Yeah.
home, like,
Long Beach!
yeah, none of that. We don't want any of that. Like,
Can't do that.
We would do stuff like that.
And the microphones are pointed at your mouths to pick up your laughter. But
Yes.
if you're sitting above that, they're pointed right at your bottom. So,
So you might want to hold in
Watch
that
it.
Chipotle,
Yeah.
like stuff like that. Like
Nice.
and that's
Yeah.
all stuff we improvised that we're like that worked, so we'll just do it again if we remember.
Right, and if you threw out candy or something, don't open the wrappers
Right.
while you're doing.
that is something that I didn't expect in this career was the crowd psychology part of it. The
That like sheep thing.
Which Darren loves, by the way. He loves.
I do.
I know, I do
I'm
too,
so
I do
excited
too.
about this.
Right.
I went to jury duty
group
one
thing.
time, and they said, "Know where the exits are," because last week we had a fire alarm and nobody knew how to get out of this building. And then I went to jury duty the very next year, and they said the same thing. And I thought that is brilliant because you put yourself in the mind of the idiot who did it wrong.
yeah. Yeah.
And so we would have a thing.
Wait, so we're in the audience up in the bleachers, okay? Which you're very familiar with, but
Yeah.
for the audience listening or watching, right? So it's raised platform, and it was about
Like
6 or
college
7 feet
bleachers.
tall,
Yeah.
so that when the actors would come and say good night at the end of the night, there you would just see like just their faces by the audience's
Yeah.
feet, right? And there was always
We
like
climbed
a
up on those
protection
things,
bar.
though.
Yeah, you would
Yeah.
climb
Yeah.
up on them. But there was a bar there, right? So
railing,
it's like
yeah.
scaffolding in
Yeah.
a way. So so now go ahead. So picture that, right? These bars, the scaffolding, and this
So-
massive
Yeah.
frenzy of
Fans
an audience that want to
who
come.
we've stirred into a fervor.
Yeah.
And
certainly
I'm like,
during curtain call, come on, let's hear it for
Okay,
them.
ladies and gentlemen,
Amazing.
boys and girls, all that. When they come out for curtain call, we need you to remain in front of your seats. Okay, do not come down here. Do not run down here and.
Do you remember what happened last week, Darren?
Last week, a little girl got pushed into the railing.
so sad.
Knocked out all of her front teeth.
I was real. I mean, she's okay. We took
Yeah,
care of
yeah.
her, but
Did that
we don't
really
want it
happen?
to never
No.
happen.
I was
Never.
gonna say,
Nobody
of
ever
course
got
the
hurt.
Really?
Nobody ever got
I'm
hurt.
too
A couple
trusting.
was
We didn't
like,
ever want
"Did
that to
happen?
happen.
How is she?
I,
was like,
how is she?
never
They're like
happened.
little Susie's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, but hold on. One time, this is just a general story. It's not Wizard specific. And it could have happened at the Wizards audience. I don't remember. But fans and parents were just absolutely crazy for some of these Disney shows, yours
Yeah.
in particular. And one guy feigned that his kid was a Make-A-Wish kid. You remember that one,
God.
Dan?
No, he
Yes,
lied.
yes, to get down
Yep.
on the floor, to have like a
Oh, that's
personal
awful.
interaction.
Yeah, and all the production people were like, no, we know the Make-A-Wish people, and
This
you're
is
not.
That's not
Oh,
it.
that's
Get them out
so
because they tell us, and we're like,
egregious.
we get information
Yeah.
as your warm up people from you. You'd say, hey, my mom's going to be here. She's going to sit here.
Yeah.
Hey, my parents are going to be
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
says Jennifer. Or, oh, the agents are blocked off. We have executives coming from Disney.
Yeah.